Good morning, Facebook. How are you guys doing on this Monday morning? This is Lia Abney coming to you this morning with your Monday morning motivation to help you keep it moving. I hope everybody's weekend was great. A lot of rain here in Hepzibah, Georgia. That's about 2 hours from Atlanta, Georgia. For those of you want to know where we're at, I want to thank y'all for joining me this morning. Whether you're on Facebook Live or if you are on YouTube or if you replay, thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Lia Abney. I'm the author, speaker, and consultant for Lia Abney LLC, who provides you services and support when it comes to accomplishing your organizational goals or professional goals. So please visit my website. I encourage you to visit my website to learn more about what I have to offer for you at www.liaabneyllc.biz. And for those of you who want to watch more of the shows that I offer on the Keep It Moving Monday Morning Motivation, please head on over to YouTube and just search in the search feature for Lia Abney LLC, and you will have the opportunity to watch all the videos that we'll be doing. So far, I have done 6 videos, and I thank you so much. If you would subscribe, don't forget to hit the bell symbol so that you can receive the notifications when I upload more videos. So thank you so much for joining me on this morning. I hope everybody's weekend has been blessed. We have received a lot of rain here this past weekend, so it's been a little interesting for us, for me and my daughter. And again, as I said before, those of you who don't know me, I like to always come in the morning and just share something so you get to know me. And so I started gardening, with COVID-19 happening and all, the stuff. I say, you know what, you gotta kind of keep yourself busy. And as an introvert, and I know some of y'all like, wait a minute, she coming on and doing this, and she's an introvert. Yes, I am. I'm an introvert, and it takes a lot of energy for me to do it, but I still have to be able to find those things that kind of help me along the way, stay connected. So I actually started a garden. Growing up in New York, one of the things that my grandmother, God bless her soul, and may she rest in peace. She always had a garden. Yes, living in New York, on the side of the building, she had a garden. She would grow different vegetables, and for us, she would go out there and just pick what she wanted. Green beans, I remember collard greens. I think there were some tomatoes and maybe some other vegetables as well. And then in the backyard, we actually had a pear tree and we had a grapevine. So so yes, we had it going on in New York. And the thing is that she wasn't from the South. As far as I know, she wasn't from the South. She grew up her whole life and born in New York. So, you know, so I started a garden. I'm going to show you just a picture there. There you go. So there's my garden that I started. But the thing about this garden thing is that I've learned so many practical principles as I started building this garden. It's only been about 3 weeks. And so I kind of relate the garden to some of the things that I've learned through the week. And I thank you that you continue to join me. We're going to take a short break just for a moment, and I'll get back with you. Again, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope that make sure, as I always say, have your paper and pen so you can grab those nuggets so that you can apply them to your life so that you can help keep it moving towards your goals that you desire to achieve. Thank you.
Black G, Black G.
Well, we are back. Thank you again for those who are joining me. Again, my name is Lia Abney, author, speaker, and consultant for Keep It Moving Monday Morning Motivations. And again, if you'd like to learn more, please visit my website at www.liaabneyllc.biz. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. Those of you who are on YouTube, thank you for my followers. And those who are joining me live on Facebook, thank you so much. And again, I hope that your Monday morning has been well. I hope God blesses you on this day as you're continuing this time, as we're walking out this COVID-19. A lot of things happening in the world today. So please stay encouraged, stay motivated to accomplish your goals because that becomes very important that you are walking in your purpose. And so I come to you every Monday morning to help you achieve that purpose in your life, whatever it may be. And if you do desire to and I would like to work with you and helping you accomplishing your goals. And you can do that by visiting my website. So let's go ahead and get into the topic for today. So on today, the topic last week, if you remember, I shared with you, as I did a few moments ago, about just starting a garden and how I learned a couple of things when it came to that. And we're going to continue that because I wanted to focus on one of the key points that I made on last week. And the last one was time management and how that is important when it comes to accomplishing your goals. And so as you're waking up this morning, even for myself, as I did my motivation, I was reminded in my daily motivation that number one, to make sure I got my mind focused on God, get my thoughts focused on Him, because it becomes important to understand that you're not in this journey by yourself. Because a lot of times we wake up in the morning, as I was again doing my motivation, daily motivation, I was reminded I'm not in this journey by myself. That if I focus my thoughts on God and I ask Him to join me on today on what it is that I want to do, I do not have to do it by myself. So, excuse me. So I was reminded of that. And so, again, our topic on today is we're going to talk a little bit about time management. Um, as an entrepreneur, and I'm still working in corporate America. We're just waiting for God to say, "Hey, I can leave, so I can go." After 27 years of working with in the field that I work as a management analyst, it's important that I manage my time, um, because there's so many things you want to get done in a day. And I know most of you are like, "Well, the things that I desire to achieve, Leah, I can't find the time to do it." And I completely understand. I really do. Because my day usually starts with my alarm going off somewhere around 5 a.m., if not earlier. Sometimes it's 4:30 a.m., depending on what I have to do for the day. And I have to remind myself to be forgiving of myself when, and I want to start with that first. Please be forgiving of yourself. If you find yourself not getting things done and time gets away with you and life gets away with you, right? So, how do you manage everything when you feel you don't have enough time or you're just too tired to do the things that you do? One of the mechanisms that I have, it became a coping mechanism for me. And I am going to get to the topic, I promise you. But I want you to be aware of first uh, your coping mechanisms. And what do I mean by that? Those are the things you tend to lean towards when things get a little hectic in your life, when things get overwhelming in your life. Why? Because then you can start identifying what those things are and then push yourself beyond those mechanisms, especially if those are the things that hinders you from moving forward or causes you to waste time. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to do is just take a few minutes to jot those things down. For me, it's watching TV. I'm be honest. I will literally have the TV on because that was my way of escape when I was growing up. Um, to kind of get invisible. If I'm not seen or not heard, and I'm not in anybody's way, I'm in front of the TV. And that's what I did. I used it as a way to manage my emotions. I would watch comedy to make me laugh. I would watch something that was drama and action. You know, TV shows were my thing and still is my thing because it like I feel like I have power when I go with that. So I had to be mindful of, okay, Leah, how much time, because I'm drawn to that. I had to really watch when I found myself being drawn to turning TV on and I would sit like for hours, like literally on end hours, like the whole weekend, and I would be like a waste of time. So I had to be mindful of that and the emotions that were tied to that so that I could find something else and be more productive with using my time. Again, we're talking about time management on today. So the first thing I want you to do is when you get some time on today, take a few moments just to identify what are those things that you do use as a coping mechanism that can be time wasters. It could be watching TV. It could be eating. It could be talking on the phone. It could be searching on social media. Yes. How much time you're spending on that? What are those things that are time wasters? So write those things down. This way, you can identify what they are and be aware of so that you can turn around, shut that thing down, go ahead and tackle one of your goals that you desire to achieve in 2020. I know it's crazy in 2020. Matter of fact, I would like to just lay down, pull the covers over, turn the lights on. When I turn the lights back on, let's let it be just a brand new year. We all want that, but it's not going to happen that way. Reality, let's look at reality. It's not going to happen that way. So what can we do today to manage what we can manage, which is in our power to do so? Number one, I know I can wake up in the morning and focus my thoughts on God. I know I can do that. Number two, I can be aware of those coping mechanisms that are preventing me from accomplishing my goals that become time wasters. So that's what I'm going to start with you with this morning. Just the preview of what we're going to be talking about on today. So let's start with again. Our topic on today is time management. And so, do you find yourself time getting away from you when you're trying to accomplish your goals? And I want to share with you just 4 principles that's going to help you manage your time a little bit more better. And so, in Colossians 4 and 5 says this. It says, walk in wisdom toward outsiders, making the best use of your time. And I know, that first part can be like, okay, what are you talking about? Walking wisdom toward outsiders. And so I also found that people can also hijack your time can hijack your time. So you have to be mindful, not just of those coping mechanisms, but also people. A lot of times we're wasting time because we're trying to please people. Okay. Be mindful. Yes, time waster can be if you're a people pleaser. Okay. If you're people pleasers, if you are one of those that not so much that you need other people's approval, but you feel that in order to get their support, you need to be supporting their agenda. But be mindful, if it doesn't fit your goals or your objectives, then we don't want to be spending time on that, right? We don't want to be spending time on that. So Colossians 4 and 5 says, walk in wisdom toward outsiders, making the best use of your time. So in this, it says, you know what? I have to be mindful of those external things in my life that can cause it, those outsider things that could prevent me from accomplishing what it is I desire to accomplish. Okay, so this weekend it rained a lot. It rained. I welcomed the rain because of the fact that it was going to help my garden flourish, but it did prevent me from planting the plants some more herbs that I want to plant this weekend. But I didn't allow that to stop me from other things I possibly could have been doing that weekend, such as setting up the space for doing the morning show. So I took some time and I put my efforts into that and I put some time towards that. So, Anthony Robbins says this: once you have mastered time, you will understand how true it is that most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year. I love this quote right here, and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. I'm going to say this again. This is coming from Anthony Robbins. Once you have mastered time, you will understand how true it is that most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. The definition of time management is the ability to use one's time effectively and productively, especially when you're at work or if you are an entrepreneur or if you are looking to achieve some personal or professional goals. So, you know what does this look like? So, I want to share four principles for time management. The first thing is, and we've talked about this before, how important it is to have a clear vision of what it is you want to do in your life. So, this morning, I was like, okay, I know. Leah, you got to get up. That alarm went off. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was actually awake before the alarm went off. And I went to go, I popped up and I popped back down. I laid back down. I laid back down and the alarm went off. And I'm like, oh my gosh, really? And I didn't want to get up, but I went ahead and I said, Leah, you know, you got the morning show, so you got to get up and get yourself ready. You know, go brush your teeth, go splash some water on your face, get your setup, get your lights on. You know, you have all these things you have to do. But the first thing I realized is that, you know what, I'm going to take a few moments and do my devotional, my morning devotional. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I did. It helped me focus on the fact that I don't do this by myself. And I don't have to do it by myself. So if you feel you're in a season where you're by yourself, and I know I've talked about this before, yes, there are seasons where you have to work things out by yourself. But for me, and other people could be, I'm talking to Christians and non-Christians, you're going to have your own method. For me, it is my devotional and my relationship with God. You may be a non-Christian and your method may be walking in the morning, it may be music in the morning, it may be you know, intentional thoughts for yourself in your day. It could be meditation, wherever it is that thing that you lean towards to get yourself moving in the morning in a positive direction. Whatever that is, make that a practice for yourself. Include that in your daily wake up mornings, because that's going to help you along the way. And I am talking about time management. And so my time, I devoted some time towards that this morning. And then, of course, you know, on Monday mornings, it kind of changed up a little bit for me because typically after that, I'm going on a morning walk because I want to take care of my body. So I'm intentionally designing my mornings so that my time is used wisely throughout the day. Throughout the day. Then, of course, I know I have to get myself ready because it's the work week. I'm going, you know, get myself prepared to sit down in my office to do my telework, and I'm designing what I'm going to be doing throughout the day. But one of the best techniques that I find that works for me is either writing a list of things that I want to accomplish for the next day, the night before, or, you know, writing out a schedule, you know, of things that I'm going to be doing for the week. So I know exactly what I want to accomplish. Another thing that I find that works out very well for me, and this is helping me get a clear vision. So the first thing that I'm talking about when it comes to time management is have a clear vision of what it is you want to accomplish. And again, like I said, I may either the night before write a list down of things I want to do, or I may just meditate on the things that I want to do. I may wake up early in the morning. So wherever time works better for you to decide what it is you're going to do. But I do know for me, when I wake up in the morning and I focus my thoughts on the things that I do desire to achieve and write some of those things down, it helps me stay focused on what it is I want to do. You may be one of those that, you know what, I am not doing this every day, writing a list. I just get up and I just know what I got to do. And that may work for you. Whatever method works for you. Just ensure that your thoughts are focused on that thing that you want to do. And it doesn't have to be a multiple of things that you want to do. You could choose one thing and work on it for that week. You can choose that one thing and it may be a month that you work on it. So for instance, with my business, one of the things is that I have a 12-month calendar that's on my wall, and I will take a picture of that and I will share it with you on tomorrow, next week, Monday. And I do this 12-month calendar. And on that 12-month calendar, I actually have planned out on some months when get ready to do a blog. I actually plan it out for 2 weeks. So I get myself ready. I can write my blog. I can do my posts. I can do everything that's related to it within that 12 week 2 week period. Excuse me, in that 2 week period. I don't know why I keep stumbling over my words. Over that 2 week period. And so manage your time becomes very important that you have a clear vision of what it is you want to do. So you can just really just jot down a list. It doesn't have to be a long list. I encourage you not to do a long list. You get overwhelmed. I know I do. So when I just write 2 to 3 things down, that helps me decide what actions I'm actually going to be do. I can just choose one of those actions, or I can choose multiple actions to do at at a time. So that's very helpful. The next thing I want to do is, I already kind of talked to you about this, is focus your efforts. But focus your efforts on the things you actually want to do. And so when you write your clear vision of what it is, task that you want to do, and then from there, focus on that particular task versus focusing on things that aren't related to the task. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So you want to identify tasks that are time stealers. Okay, so the first thing is to maintain your focus. Again, I want to talk about identifying those things that are time stealers. Okay, that will steal your time away. So if okay, so I'm gonna focus on setting up the studio. That was I want to rearrange the space that I actually have, and one of the struggles I was having was with the dining table that I had in this space, and I kept on using that as a means, a mechanism, or a means to not really create this space. But once I sat down and I focused on what it was I was doing, I actually ended up with a plan on what I was going to do with the dining table. And crazy thing about it was, I thought I was going to sell it, but that's not what I ended up doing. I ended up just taking out the extender, shortening the table. It fit nicely into a corner where I can open up the space to set up the studio that I'm currently in right now. And I could have allowed that to, if I lost my focus on just selling the table, and I want y'all to hear me. I spent so much time on that. I never got around to setting up the space the way that I want to. But now that I have, I'm absolutely loving this space. Absolutely love it. The outcome of this space is wonderful. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had absolutely everything I needed to create this space. I didn't have to go buy nothing else. I didn't have to waste any resources. All it took was a little bit of my time dedicated to redesigning this space. And so, again, focus your efforts on a task that is meaningful, that is going to help you move forward towards what it is you desire to achieve, right? So remember, the first principle I talked about was have a clear vision. The second was is focus your efforts on the task that is going to take you to where you desire to go. The next one is lose the need for urgency. Lose the need for urgency. We all do this. I know I've done it. I know I've done it. A lot of times is and a lot of times because we procrastinate, wait till the last minute, or we feel that I gotta get this thing done, where we don't think through the process. We don't think through the process, and we end up completing tasks that adds no value to what it is that we desire to achieve. Again, remember this one thing: when you are creating goals, when you are creating a task, things that you want to accomplish, it should add value to your life. It should add value to your life. It shouldn't be something that's going to uh, distract or take away, subtract away from what it is that you want to accomplish. It should always add value. So if you find yourself doing something that's not adding value, relationships, oh my gosh, if it's not adding value to your life, you might want to reassess that thing. If you are adding something to your business, or if you're going into a partnership or a collaboration and it's not adding value, and adding value, it should be a give and take thing. You shouldn't be just doing it for the purpose of is going to add value to just me, just to yourself. Definitely you want that, but you also want to know that it's adding value to others as well. You get more out of that. I'm going to tell you, you get more out of that. When I started this business, yes, I wanted something for myself. But the other thing is, it ended up being more about what am I showing to my kids? And am I adding value to their life? And I found out that, oh my gosh, when I started this author journey, being an author, now my daughter is writing novels. She's writing a novel. She's completed 2 chapters so far, and she just started. And so I'm adding value to her because I'm showing her through example what it looks like. And I actually have the knowledge and the information now I can share with her, right? So now I'm adding value. So lose the need for urgency to do things just because you think that it's going to give you the same results that other people have received in that thing. Think that thing through. Take the time to talk to somebody if you need to, if you feel that there's an urgency. And sometimes urgency is good, but being able to identify good urgency and bad urgency is going to be key, so you're not wasting your resources and your time. You're not finding yourself losing money. Let's get down to the bottom of this. The bottom line is you don't want to lose money. I don't want to see you lose money. Okay, so lose the need for urgency. The last principle that I want to share with you is this: conduct regular reviews of your time and how you're using your time. You will find that you'll gain time back. And I know everybody's like, man, if I just have more time, and we all get the same 24 hours. We all get the same 24 hours. But how are you using your 24 hours? How are you using your 24 hours? So when it comes to time management, once you have mastered time, you will understand how true it is that most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and underestimate what they can achieve in a decade. And that was by Anthony Robbins. For those of you who walk in the word, Colossians 4 and 5 says, walk in wisdom toward outsiders, making the best use of your time. So I hope on this week that you're taking for a few minutes just to use the 4 principles that I shared with you, which is to have a clear vision. Okay. The second one is to focus your efforts on what it is you desire to accomplish. Lose the need for urgency just to get things done, just to say you've done something. Make it count. Make whatever it is that you're going to do this week and throughout 2020, make it count. And the last one is conduct regular reviews of your time. So I thank you so much for joining me on today's Monday morning, Keep It Moving Monday morning motivations. For those of you who desire to learn more about what I have to offer, please visit my website at liaabneyllc.biz. If you desire to watch more shows of the Keep It Moving Monday morning motivation, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Lia Abney LLC. And I thank you so much for joining me on today, and I look forward to seeing you on next week.